Hello and welcome back. This week I thought that we could continue working on my floral pair of lane pants. Let me show you that fabric so you remember what I'm talking about. This one, that's a very little bit of it. If you remember, I found a flaw in the old fabric after I had sewn half of the shorts together. I was ironing it and I found a spot that was like definitely going to become a hole later. So I've replaced that, and I thought we could make some serious progress on that today. I'm also trying to figure out what to do for my next quilt. And I originally was thinking like Christmas vibes, so I had something fun at Christmas. But I also didn't want to go buy new fabric if I didn't have to. And so I thought we could look at the patterns I'm looking at and the potential fabrics I have to do a cool quilt with. I might have to go buy fabric or go to the fabric thrift to get fabric for it, but I want to see what I have first and see what I can put together with what I've got and do something a little scrappy. And I have an update on my knitting, and it is not the purple sweater, but I did start a swatch for the cotton yarn that I bought for 3 future sweaters. So I figured I'd start by swatching that so I could get a vibe for if I'm meeting gauge or not. I'm pretty sure I am, so I think we'll measure that. And I don't have like a full swatch yet, but I think I have enough to figure out if I'm close. So we'll do a little measure on that, keep working on some shorts, and get some fabric pulled out for another quilt. Let's get started. Okay, so we're gonna start with the quilts. So here's my current dilemma. I have a lot of this. It's like 80 inches wide, and it's like a huge piece of cotton of some kind. So I think I really want to use this as the backing on something. I know it's like plain. I could use it in multiple quilts as well and just use it as the background color. So where my brain first went when I walked in the room today was like, I saw the little woodland creatures. I've got quite a bit of this. This is not like an exact match, but the vibe is matching. Does that make sense? So then I was like, okay, I have a 1/4 yard of this plaid from Christmas when I made bowl cozies. And if I put that with it, it kind of goes like outdoorsy woodland creature. This was the other side that I used for the cozies, and it's still cute. And then that's kind of all I've got on the woodland creature vibes right now, because I have a few yards of this, and once you introduce the olive green, I don't like this anymore. And even though these look good with this, it's like we have like a vibe mismatch here. So I don't think those are going to work, though these could definitely work for another quilt. I have at least a yard, probably 2 of these each. So leaning into those like peachy, warm, like greens and peaches, I think would be good for another quilt, but not this one. So we have another option. I've got, I think, 5 yards of this. It could be the backing to something, and then I could use this as the background, or I could put these together. Let's see what I can do here. Use this in the quilt, because these are almost the same color, and the green in this is like so close. I could put this on, I don't know, on the back. I've got some green, I've got some red, there's some blue in this. I got a little bit of blue, but it just starts to feel a little bit like bright to me. So I could do a single cloth thing. I'm wondering if I could find a pattern that if I cut the backing out of this and I had leftovers, possible, If I could use it in the front with this and find something kind of simple, like a plaid situation. I don't know, man. Because the other thing is, I have this queen size flat sheet that I could use as a backing for something. It's flannel. It's really soft. I think it would make a really great backing. I'm never going to use it for the front of a quilt because the pattern is pretty big, and I typically use quilting cottons instead of flannel, and I'm not going to mismatch the fabrics on the front. But like, do you see the vision? Do you see it? Like, these colors all work together. This is like, I like this vibe, and I don't like the vibe when I start adding in like the bold colors. Now that I'm thinking about it, how do we feel about, no, maybe the brown? The brown is not bad. So if I could find like a navy fabric, there's kind of this like gold color in here. If I could find the toned down versions of some of these colors, like a maroon, and I feel like it would make this pop and give it its chance to shine, because it's very cute. It's like little, I don't know if it's teddy bears. It's like little people skiing with snowmen. And I like that it's bright, but that the background is like that off-white color. And I've got quite a bit of it. And I feel like those go together really well with that. I don't know. I've got some decisions to make. Do you think I would be inspired going to the thrift store to find fabric? The answer is probably. But I might be better off going to find like a actual craft store, like an actual fabric store. They're all kind of expensive. I don't like shopping at Hobby Lobby, but if they're running a sale, I'll think about it, because I think we have an opportunity to do something really cute. But I just haven't quite found the fabrics yet that I think make this fabric sing, or this fabric sing without being... When I put it with the red and the blue and the green, it feels very like primary, very elementary school, and it could be definitely cute. I just don't think it's me. And so I want to find a way to make this pattern like sing and shine on its own. And maybe I use this as the backing instead and do something that's a little more subdued with the, maybe I don't fight with the blue, I just like do greens and reds and find some darker versions of this. I don't know, this is me brainstorming. And I feel like that's like a big part of, you know, sewing and knitting and quilting and all of those creative hobbies, is like pondering like color and patterns and what can make, it's like using the color wheel and trying to make something you really love, this cute, is this flannel? No. Trying to make a cute fabric that you really like make it feel like it's part of something. That sounds like very woo-woo almost, but I just want it to, this is a very cute fabric and I want it to feel like it's part of a design that like has the same vibes, you know what I mean? Anyways, I do have some fabric coming that I'm really excited about. I picked out a pattern. I'll talk about it next week, or I'll talk about it when it gets here. I'll talk about the fabric when it gets here. But my birthday was at the end of May and I couldn't figure out what I wanted for my birthday when my dad asked what I wanted. And I said fabric for quilts, and he said, cool, but I just have to get it ordered now. So when it gets here, I'll show it to you. I'll show you the vision. I'm very excited to get started on it. And I have time to figure out, you know, the Christmas, you know, vibes or whatever of the quilt. Actually, I think all of these could really go together into something. So maybe I try to find something that uses these, and maybe I can find some solids or some blenders to go with it. So let's work on the shorts for a little while. I would like to make some decent progress on them. And by decent progress, I mean finish them today. That's not going to happen. I have like an hour, but you know, I want to make some progress and I want to make some cute shorts to wear this summer. It's going to be like 100 degrees next week, so I want to wear them. So let's do that. Okay, so I made a lot of progress on these. Is this the back? This is the front. On the shorts today. I got the elastic in, so I need to close up the hole where I put the elastic in and finish the edges in here because they're a mess. And then do the top stitching and then hem them. But I would say I'm 60% there. So I hopefully am going to show you the finished product next week, because I don't think this is going to take very long for me to, you know, crank out. And look how drapey the fabric is. I love that. So I'm hoping to make a top to go with this, like maybe a tunic that's kind of long, that makes it look like a cute set, but I will show you the finished shorts next week. The next thing I need to check, which I probably need to pull up on Route, is I started the gauge swatch for this particular yarn. So if I was going to do another step-by-step sweater, pull it up. It calls for a 5.5 millimeter for most of the sweater, 5.5 millimeter needle. And the gauge swatch needs to be 4 inches. So I'm thinking that this is going to be too small, but 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. I'm only at 3.5 inches for this gauge swatch. So I'm a half an inch smaller. So I guess I'll try going up a needle size. And honestly, I'll probably just switch the needles and start doing that on the next rows. Because I probably need to look up how to block cotton as well. But so far, I understand what people say about cotton splitting. I did have a little bit of a problem, but once you kind of get used to working with it, I didn't have a problem. I think it looks really nice. And this this yarn is like pretty cheap and it's really soft. So I'm very excited to wear it because it feels like it's going to be really comfortable to wear. So big fan of that. So I'm going to continue gauge swatching this, but on a larger needle and see if I can meet gauge. And then once I've figured out how to meet gauge on it, then I'll just unravel this and use it in the sweater. But yeah, I guess I should look at what size the other sweaters I have using that. Daisy sweater is 20 by 20 and it uses, okay, so we're gonna have to do some gauge swatching here. My guess is that I'm not gonna want to start with another step-by-step sweater, but I think I would like to start on the Daisy sweater, but I feel like I'm making some really good progress on projects, but I'm also kind of having that, like, I have so many things I want to make this summer, like overwhelm kind of bubbling in me. So I think in July, I'm going to dedicate a lot more time to working on projects than I did this month. I felt very like summer busy, do you know what I mean? Where you're like, I have an open calendar and then you look at your calendar and you don't. So next week, I will show you the completed shorts and hopefully have a quilt update and tell you guys what I'm going to start as a quilt and a gauge swatch update. I think I might start gauge swatching the daisy sweater. I think that's what I want to work on next. So we're in the bubblings of new projects right now, and I'm really excited and I'm a little overwhelmed, and that's just the way it is. So if you want to follow along with this chaos that I've got going right now, hit subscribe. I'll post again next week on Wednesday, and I'll see you then. Bye.